Old Alabama gardener on how I make and can pulled pork for barbecue sandwiches. We're going to use a pork shoulder. This one happens to be about 7.5 pounds. We're going to coat this pork with a good rub. That's going to add a great deal of flavor, and I'll put the recipe for the rub in the discussion box below. Now you notice I already pulled a long sheet of aluminum foil out, and so now we're going to wrap that roast in the aluminum foil, wrap it up tight, and we're going to store it in the refrigerator. And now we're going to insert that in a plastic bag so that if any liquid drains out, which it probably will, the bag is going to catch it. Now if you think you need it, you can put it in another bag for a little extra protection, and then we're going to stick it in the refrigerator for 3 days. After 3 days in the refrigerator, you take it out. We're going to open it up and stick it into that green crock pot sitting on the right hand side there. Okay, now set the crock pot in the base and we'll get ready to start our cooking. Set your temperature on low and we're going to cook it for about 11 to 12 hours or until it's fork tender. Now we're going to strain the cooking liquid because we're going to use that in the jars when we can the meat. Now I like to remove most of the fat, and we've done so as we see in this dish, and we're ready to start our canning process. Place the meat in the jars and just kind of firm it up a little bit. I wouldn't pack it real hard. And then divide the liquid equally among all the jars. If each of your jars is not up to the 1 inch headspace line, then you can either add some hot water or you can add chicken broth. I use chicken broth. Now wet a paper towel in vinegar and wipe the rim of each jar with a vinegar saturated paper towel. The reason for using vinegar is because we have a lot of grease involved here, and the vinegar will help to cut the grease off the rim of the jar. It may not be necessary, but now I wipe the rim of each jar with a paper towel soaked in water to remove any of the vinegar residue. Now we put on a hot lid and a ring, and we're ready to go into the pressure canner. Because we're canning in half-pint jars, you might want to go look at my video on how to make sure you have enough water in your pressure canner. For my altitude, I'm going to can at 10 pounds pressure, and I'm going to hold it under pressure for 75 minutes. The next day, this is what you got. Prepper Potpourri also cans pulled pork, and her husband puts it in a big green egg smoker for a few hours. I don't have a smoker, so I do it this way. I'll put a link to her video in the discussion box below. I put the amount I wanted in a small bowl and warmed it up in the microwave. Yes, it tastes just as good as it did the first day I cooked it. If you like it spicier, put some hot sauce on it. Mmm, that's good. You like barbecue sauce on it? This is a good one. Mmm, that's good.